of the press chiefs here at the World Championships. We'd like to welcome you here for the World Wrestling Championships, which are going to run between Monday and Sunday here at the Orleans Arena. We've got over 100 nations here competing in the 3 Olympic styles of wrestling. There's 108 spots in the Olympic Games up for grabs, 6 in each of the 18 Olympic weight classes. And we'll have 24 gold medals awarded before we're done here. This is only the 6th time the United States has ever hosted a World Championship, and it's the first time we've had all 3 Olympic styles hosted together here in our country. So we're very excited about the competition and about the fact that you're here to cover it. As you may know, tomorrow we start wrestling with the Greco-Roman 3 weight classes, and we'll work our way through Greco-Roman and then women's freestyle, and finish the last part of the tournament with men's freestyle. And in order to give the media an opportunity to hear from the American athletes and coaches, we are having this press conference today. And we have 3 of our top athletes, 1 in each of the Olympic styles, as well as all 3 of our national coaches. Here's kind of our format. I'm going to ask each person a question, and they'll answer it, and then we'll move up and down the line here for each of the athletes and the coaches. And then we'll open up the press conference for questions. We'll have microphones, so if you could raise your hand if you have a question during that period. They'll hand you a microphone. Please identify who you are so our athletes and coaches know who they're talking to, and ask your question then. And at the end of that, we'll have a little middle around time, so if you want to have any one-on-one discussions with any of our 6 guests, we're looking forward to getting that done as well. So with that said, I'm going to start with athletes. We're here because of the athletes. They're the reason that we do wrestling, and this is their great opportunity. And I'll work my way down from the left side. I'd like to introduce Jordan Burroughs, who won the Olympic Games in 2012 and has won 2 world titles. Jordan, last year you won a bronze medal, and I was curious if you could talk a little bit about how last year's event has motivated you on your preparation for this year's opportunity at the World Championships.
Well, I don't think any specific event motivates me more than any others. I always want to win whenever I step onto the biggest platform in the world. And so, as a competitor, the ultimate accomplishment and success at the end of the year is to be Super Bowl champion, or to be a world champion, Olympic gold medalist. And so, I had the same dreams last year, wasn't able to accomplish those goals, and so I just reevaluated, went back to the drawing board, improved as a wrestler. I don't think I'm any hungrier than I was at that point last year, but I think I have a big opportunity being here in the U.S. So I'm excited about the opportunity to go out there and try to move forward.
Thank you, Jordan. To his right is Greco-Roman heavyweight Robby Smith. It's going to be his 3rd straight world championship. Robby, it's here, Dave. It's time for Greco-Roman. We've had our first weigh-ins, and I'd like to ask you a little bit about your own personal preparation for this year's Worlds, because you're going to be stepping out in the mat in a couple of days. And what can our fans expect from our Greco-Roman team this year? How's the Americans looking?
I mean, my preparation has been awesome. It's been at home in Colorado Springs Training Center, and it's been my everyday routine. Wake up, eat breakfast, go to training, eat lunch, go to training, go to sleep, and it's been awesome because it doesn't feel like we're on World Championships. It's just sinking in now, and we're excited and we're ready to go. And my team is an amazing team. We have a great group of gentlemen on our team, and that they are ready to compete. And we got our first dogs going out tomorrow. Andy Bezik's our world medalist, and he's going to start us off right, and we're just going to keep it rolling. Kayla Williams goes, and Bryce Doris goes tomorrow, and our whole training camp's been top-notch. Our coaching staff did a wonderful job, and we're ready to roll, and we're excited to do it, and we're going to show big things this year. So,
thank you very much, Robby. To Robby's right, we have a 2-time world champion, 4-time world medalist, Adeline Gray. Adeline, you're the defending champion, and I'd like to ask you how you approach your preparation, knowing that your opponents are training for you, that they're aiming for you as the #1 athlete right now in the weight class.
I guess as far as going and being #1, it just is like any other day. You got to approach it 1 match at a time. It's not my tournament yet, so I have to go out there and earn it. And every match I have to go out there and wrestle as if it is the finals of the World Championship. So I'm just going in there with that mentality of one match at a time, and I'm gonna get the job done.
And has your preparation gone as you've hoped?
Yeah, it has. This has actually probably been the best training camp of my life, so I have to owe some kudos to Coach Terry Steiner just working with me and really making sure that we get exactly what I need going into this tournament.
Thank you, Adeline. And to my right, I have our 3 national coaches. And we'll just keep moving down the row. So I'll start first. To my right is Bruce Burnett, our national freestyle coach. You may know that Coach Burnett was rehired by USA Wrestling for his second stint as our national coach. He led us for a number of quads prior to the 2000 Olympics. That was when he moved it back to the college ranks. And I just wanted to ask Bruce a little bit about the experience. He coached the 1995 U.S. World Team, which won the team title in Atlanta, and wanted to see your thoughts about whether this year's American team, competing here on the home mats, could put themselves in a position to win this tournament and you know, make some history, just like the team had in '95.
Well, actually, I talked to our team about that very thing and gave them a little bit of history and the background of how we got to where we were. So there's always the question, can we win? Of course we can win. What do we have to do to win? Well, we have to beat Russia. We know they have 6 returning world medalists. All 6 have been world champions. Iran returns 4 world medalists, and 3 of those medalists have been world champions. And so we've got to get better. Do we have the potential to do that? You bet we do. It's never going to be about whether or not we have enough heart, or we're in good enough shape, or we want to win bad enough. We do. And our athletes have trained hard. We just can't make mistakes. We have to be better than we have been. And we returned 2 world medalists. And one of those has been a world champion, and one of those has been a runner-up. One of them was 2009, but he looks pretty good right now, and we expect him to perform like he's capable of doing. But we have the potential to win. And being here in the United States with our support and the work that they put in and the corrections that they made on some of the positions that they've had trouble in the past, we're definitely capable. And I'm excited about it. That's why we train. That's why we practice. That's why we watch the video. That's why we do what we do, so we can watch them on the stage. And this is their time. This is the team this year with their opportunity to win the World Championships. And so we have to ask them what their legacy is going to be. And I think they prepared well. I feel good about where they're at.
Thank you, Coach. To your right, we have Coach Terry Steiner, our first and only women's national coach since we started with the Olympic program back in 2002. And Coach Steiner, you did have an experience of coaching an American team on American soil in 2003 when we wrestled New York City. And also the last couple of years, our women's team has been able to get on the podium and win a team trophy. Could you talk about what our American women need to do this week to improve on their performance that they've had the last couple of years and maybe move up to that number 2 or obviously the number 1 spot in the world as a team? What do they need to do and how are they looking going into this opportunity?
Well, I think we just need to realize and take advantage of the opportunity here at home. And the one thing we've talked about a lot is just, you know, this is the only opportunity most of these girls will have, if not all of them, to have a World Championships or Olympic Games on home soil. And those opportunities don't come around often, and we have a team that can compete. And so it's about getting out there and doing what we are capable of doing. We can't hold back, we can't have hesitation, we've got to do what we're capable of doing. And if we do that, we'll be right in that mix to get where we want to get. We understand that we have tough opponents. We understand that Japan comes in very strong, China comes in strong, Mongolia comes in strong, Ukraine, Russia. They're all going to be tough opponents, but we're on our soil right now, and we expect great things. And we have great athletes on this team, and we've prepared well. So it's just a matter of taking advantage of the opportunity here at home. and so that's what we're looking forward to.
Thank you, Coach. And on the far right, we have our national Greco-Roman coach, Matt Lindland. Matt, obviously we got 3 guys getting to go tomorrow, so I'm going to ask you 2 little questions. One's a little bit about the overall team, and then just about tomorrow's competition. This is your 2nd year on our coaching staff as our head coach, and tell us how the team has progressed since you got here, and the kind of things that you expect from the American Greco wrestlers competing here in Las Vegas this weekend. And my follow-up question will be, talk about your first 3 guys, because obviously we're ready to wrestle tomorrow. So, thanks, Matt.
All right. Well, yeah, I just came on board last year, pretty much before the Worlds. The team had already been picked, and I got to work with some great men. And I think the key is that we're building a real team. We've got great men on our team with a lot of character, and they're leaders. Robby's one of our best leaders in our program. We've got guys that were trained by the Navy that are officers. I mean, we've got some incredible people in our program. I love every one of these guys, and I want to see them compete well. And I think one of the biggest things we've done is we're starting to build a real team, one fight, going into the World Championships here in the U.S. We're all excited. We love the fact that we could train in our own room in Colorado Springs. It was an hour time change to get here. We came out on Friday. The guys are feeling good, and they're buying into what, you know, we made some changes. I mean, Bryce had a couple tough weight cuts, one at the Nationals, one at the games, and, you know, I just talked to him. I said, hey, are you willing to try this? And I know it's totally different than what you've done. And 2 days ago, he was like, Coach, I feel great. I feel amazing. I was like, well, where did that come from? But it was so fun to see him just excited about, you know, what we're doing and the changes we're making. But tomorrow, I mean, I don't know if you can tell I'm smiling because we got some great drops. I mean, Bryce has got Portugal first round tomorrow. Andy has got Venezuela, who's beaten 4 times. He beat him just recently at the Pan Am Games in the first round. And Kayla's wrestling Brazil. And Brazil beat him at the championships in Chile this year. There's no way that guy should beat Kayla. I mean, Kayla's an incredible athlete, but he's got to wrestle. He's got to perform and come out. So we're focusing on one match right now, just like everybody else. One match at a time. We get through those, we'll make adjustments and do what we got to do. But I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. You look at those brackets, and I haven't seen it all lined out, but it looks like definitely we should have one in the finals tomorrow. So we're excited.
So at this point, I'd like to open it up for some questions. We have microphones here, and if you raise your hand, one of our people here from our media team will hand you the microphone. Please identify yourself and who you want to talk to, and we'll pass the mics around and answer your questions.
Jason Bryan with Mad Talk Online. This question's for Robby. Gary had mentioned in the opening that this is the first time they've had the 3 Olympic styles at the World Championships in the U.S. in a long time. For Greco, it's been 36 years. And you came through the Greco system. You weren't a college athlete like Sidoris was. So the American wrestling fan has, you know, maybe a hard time understanding some of the Greco guys. What's your goal? What's the team's goal to say, all right, hey guys, we're American athletes. There's more than freestyle. There's more than women's freestyle. We're Greco. It's our soil. There's a lot to prove here for you guys this week.
I mean, it's about us performing. And if we perform to our best potential that we know we can do, that's what we're going to make a statement. And Greco is having some hard times in our country, but we're going to bring it back. And I think it's going to start this year. And that's what we needed. That's where it comes down to. It comes down to us, and we're ready to take that weight on our shoulders and do what we have to do, our job. And we're here to do some Greco-Roman wrestling. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to put Greco back on the map. And every one of our guys are out here to be world champions. That's the mindset. Jordan said it. If you're not here to be a world champ, you're not supposed to be on this team. You're here to be a world champ. And you're not just making the team. Everyone wants that. And that's our Greco team. We're hungry. Like you said, the last couple of years haven't been great. We haven't had a world championships on American soil in so long that we want to show our fans, our country, what we got. And that's what we're here to do.
Thanks, sir.
Mike Flynn from Win Magazine. This is for the 3 athletes. A lot of people talk about mat advantage for like college wrestling, high school wrestling. I'm not sure if they really talk about a home country advantage, that type of thing, since it's a rarity. What will dictate a home mat advantage? Is it the audience? Is it the crowd? Is it something else? Do you actually believe in home mat advantage?
I think the Pan Am was a really good example. I was in the crowd and just hearing the crowd with the Canadians and the U.S. just because the U.S. was so close. And you could feel that energy in the room. And it isn't just about being able to know that you can drink the tap water and be able to know that you can eat the food and not get sick and have those simple things down, but about the fact that when you step into that arena, you do feel the crowd. You feel everyone cheering for you. And I only had my father in the stands, but there was an entire USA section that was cheering for Team USA. And it was an unbelievable feeling, and I pulled that match out, and I don't think I could have done it without the fans. So I'm really looking forward to having that crowd and getting people behind me in those matches that maybe we shouldn't win. And we're going to have that little boost of energy of just knowing that people are supporting us and just be excited about that. I mean, you're going to see some great wrestling this weekend.
Well, Robby and Jordan, we talked about it too.
I guess. No, I think it's great. I think it's great. Being home, I've got a plenty of family. I don't know if you guys have known, but I actually got a chance to speak immediately after the World Team Trials. And so my dad doesn't even have a passport. And so I'm a 3-time world champion, and my dad has never been in the stands to see me win any of those world championships. And so this is the first opportunity that he'll be able to be in the stands, watch his son compete at the highest level in the world, and hopefully I won't squander that opportunity. And so this is big for me. This is a big opportunity. You know, this is my son's first world championships. My wife wasn't there in Uzbekistan last year. My dad's first time to get to see me compete at the highest level. And so this is huge. And like she said, outside of the logistics and the amenities that are provided for us, I think just having that extra boost of energy from the electricity in the crowd is an amazing experience. You know, this is going to be what we've always dreamed of. I think as individuals, we always wanted to have the crowd on our side. And so once you get out of the college realm, and you guys didn't even wrestle in college, but once you get out of the college realm and you don't have, you know, that tangible piece of a team, once you get onto the international level and there's each individual aspect of it and there's only families there to cheer for you, we might have maybe 15 or 20 people apiece, but now we've got 8,000. And so it really changes the dynamic of the match, changes the dynamics of our mindset, and that extra push late in the period when it's 15 seconds left, you got to hold a guy off, or there's 15 seconds left and you need to get a takedown. That electricity from the energy can be felt within your heart to kind of drive and get that next level.
Smith? I mean, it's awesome. Just plain and simple. I love it. Today I got to hang out with my parents. I went to the Pepper Mill. Went and had a great breakfast at the Pepper Mill. And, you know, I got to go sit with my dad while I got a haircut. I mean, that's what, I mean, I love my family, and that's what it's all about to me. And now they get to watch me compete, and it's not just my father this time. My dad's been to every world championships I've been in, but my mom, my sister, all of them get to watch me compete, and I'm so excited for it. I want to put on a show. My best friends are coming in. And that's, I mean, every one of our wrestlers has somebody coming in, and that's what we want to do. We want to put on a show. And it's fun. It's wrestling, man. You're not going to die. You're just going to go out and have fun. So that's what I'm all about. And I felt the electricity once, and I was in Iran. And it was the whole Iran crowd cheering for me. And I was like, well, if I can do this in Iran, I can definitely do this at the World Championships in my backyard. You know? So I'm stoked, man. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be awesome.
Next question, microphone out.
Anybody?
Michael has another one.
Sorry.
Go for it.
Okay, this is for Terry and Bruce. Since you guys were part of teams that competed here on American soil and the success, we talked a little bit more back about '95. What do you remember about that? How much has the sport changed that? 2003, how much has women's wrestling changed since 2003?
Well, I think the landscape of women's wrestling has changed dramatically since that time. I mean, there's a lot more teams in the mix. There's a lot, the depth of it is a lot more. I mean, there's a lot more individuals in each weight class that are really in the mix to win things. So, you know, from that standpoint, I mean, it's gotten a lot deeper and tougher. You know, and I've heard it a lot. You know, people saying our team's getting tougher all the time, and so is the rest of the world. You know, the rest of the world is has put a lot more into the development of the sport of women's wrestling in their own countries. So, and you're starting to see that, and just more countries involved. So, yeah, it's changed considerably.
What was your favorite memory of 2003?
Well, I mean, I think going into day 3, it was a 3-day competition at that time, and going into day 3, we were still undefeated. I mean, that was pretty impressive, and to have runs like that, you just don't see that very often, where you're just on a run and nothing's going wrong, and the athletes made you look like a genius, So I mean, I think those are great memories, and to have every one of our athletes, we were 7 for 7 in medals. To have every one of our athletes be able to leave the World Championships with something in their hand, and that's a pretty special feeling. And I mean, Japan still pulled out that victory because they had more champions. We tied on team points, but they had more champions. So, but what an effort! I mean, it was a great effort and just a great experience for everyone.
Yeah, so in 1995, the World Championships, we had a team of veterans and some young guys. We had a good crowd, but we won 3 gold medals the first go-round. And so we had quite a bit of momentum going in and into those next final rounds. And so it's really interesting how the international world looks at that. Talking to Coach Nitschke from Germany at the time, it was like, well, you've won enough. We've got more guys to still wrestle here. We want to win more gold. And we're not being selfish, but everybody wants to go out and perform at the highest level. And every one of our guys wants to win the gold medal. And I think that's what the sport is really all about, is to go out and give your best effort every time. But people don't think the home crowd makes a difference there. I mean, honestly, they're out to lunch. It makes a huge difference. And our expectation is that our fans will get behind them and help boost them a little bit and give them a little bit of extra gasoline in the tank. Our guys are going to compete hard. They always do. But to have the crowd on the side and going back to 95, honestly, the 8 years of those 2-minute matches hurt our athletes because they didn't have to be as good. If you wrestle for 2 minutes and you can hold the guy off, I mean, and reach into a bag and grab a ball to get a hold of somebody's leg. And so we've been playing a little bit of catch-up from the technical aspect of it. But the rules are such that we'll be back. We'll be back. Conditioning counts now. You've got to wrestle from start to finish for 6 minutes. And I think that plays into our wrestling and what we grew up with, versus a 2-minute match. And so if you go back to 95, they were 6-minute matches. And we're back. We're back to 6-minute matches. You actually get to see wrestling. And I'm excited about that. And I know our team's excited.
Are there any other questions, Brian?
Brian Nicklay, Win Magazine. This question is to any of the 3 of you athletes who'd like to answer it. Robby, you mentioned putting on a show, and I know Jordan has used those words, and Adeline comes from that same kind of mindset. People have been talking about wrestling being in a renaissance stage, so to speak, with the Olympic scare and that type of thing from a couple, 3 years back. The rules changed. Now the Olympics are just around the corner next year, obviously. And the World Championships being this year in the country that has the most media attention. Do you guys feel a sort of responsibility as athletes to really do something special this year from the whole pre-Olympic year side of things as well as the media end of things?
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been throwing lately. I owe that to Greco, so pro Greco. But yeah, I mean, I think people are getting excited about it. Women are getting a little stronger, a little faster, a little bit better on the mat, and we're seeing high elevation throws. Alyssa Lampy is extremely explosive. You're going to see something out of her this next weekend or this weekend. I plan to get a throw. And there's going to be somebody who's going to get dragged and tossed. So I'm excited about it, and I think people get excited about those moments. So as far as just going out there and putting on a show, I think people appreciate great wrestling, but the wrestling community appreciates great wrestling. Getting outside of that is going to be one step further. It's going to be having iconic things like the beard, and having great spokesmen like Jordan, and just having those people out there that can really connect with the population outside of just wrestling or wrestlers who appreciate great wrestling. So those throws, getting more women's involvement, getting people excited about all three styles, I think those are all kind of key things that we are trying to bring to the table and make this more of a show.
You guys want to say anything?
No, I think it's our individualistic aspirations are greater than, you know, putting on a show. I think each individual, we always want to win, and we want to show how hard we've worked as opposed to entertain. And so we put a lot of time in. We do a lot of training. The excess of points that we want to score is from the sacrifices we've made, not from the amount of people that are in the stands. And so that's what's biggest for us. It's always been about getting the most out of our potential, you know, maximizing on what's available within our tanks, and, you know, getting the most out of, you know, what we can do. And so if we can do that, we can wrestle at our highest level and compete our best, I think that we're going to do a good job of entertaining the crowd. And if you have a beautiful beard like this, it's a lot easier.
And pretty much, I mean, when I say put on a show, it's competing to my best ability. You know what I mean? I go out to finish every single time. I go out to wrestle my hardest. I want to score as many points as I possibly can. I don't want to score one and sit. No, I want to score as many as I can. And if that's an 8-0 tech, I mean, or if it's, you know, 3-1 or 3-2, that's the best of my ability at the time. But I guarantee it's going to be exciting. You know, that's the whole thing. And that's what, and for us, it's been so long since a big international tournament like this for Greco-Roman wrestling has been on this continent, that we get to showcase the best guys in the world at Greco-Roman wrestling. So that's what's going to be here. You know, it's not just Team USA. Yeah, we want to win, but I don't call it a style of wrestling. I call it an art of wrestling. Greco-Roman is an art. It's big throws. It's fun to watch, and you're going to see that this tournament. These rules that Coach brought up, that, you know, you have to wrestle all 6 minutes, that's going to happen at this tournament. And I am so excited for Greco-Roman wrestling to be on this stage in front of my country. So that's the show, and it's going to be a great one.
Any other questions? But I think Mr. Gucci right here.
Mr. Jordan Burroughs, I would like to your evaluation to Japanese Sosuke Takahashi, last year's Takatani, last year's silver medalist. Please speak slowly for Japanese media.
Man, I think he's great. I think Takatani's a great wrestler. I've wrestled him on 2 different occasions, and he was fortunate to win a silver medal last year. I think that he's always going to be a formidable opponent whenever he's in the bracket, and so I look forward to hopefully getting the opportunity to compete against him this year. I think that regardless of how the draws fall, he's one of the guys that can kind of separate himself from the rest of the pack, and so he's a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler, but you know, this weekend I'm hoping my good stuff's better than his good stuff, and that I'm staying on top of the podium.
Thank you.
This one goes out to Matt and Bruce, because you guys have both had the opportunity to coach Bryce Sidoris, and talking about wrestling on your home soil. For Bryce, the World Championships aren't just in his home country, they're in his home state. And, you know, he gets the opportunity to go out and set the tone tomorrow. Bruce, first of all, what do you think made Bryce a wrestler that would be able to excel at the senior level in Greco-Roman? And Matt, what's he been doing since he's come into the Marines and made a couple world teams? And, you know, where's Bryce made the improvement from when Bruce handed him over to Greco?
Well, Bryce is exceptionally strong, not average strength, exceptionally strong, but his heart is bigger. His work ethic is huge. He competes as hard as he can for every point, every day, every go, in the room, no matter who he competes against in practice. And that's why I knew he could be successful on the international level. And so I'm really excited to see him. I was excited to see him in Uzbekistan last year, and I'm excited to see him here. And being in the state of Nevada and being in the United States, I think that heart might even be a little bigger.
Well, I just want to thank Bruce, and maybe you can send over some more guys too. But no, and absolutely, Bryce got a big heart. He's got a great work ethic and incredible character, and I think that's what makes him a winner and makes him willing to make the sacrifice. He's got he's got a wife and he's got other obligations with the military. He's going to grad school right now. I mean, this guy is just constantly doing something to improve himself in every area, and that's why I love having him part of our team, and he's an incredible leader. And I think being in his home state is going to be a lot of fun for him.
Can I add something for that?
Go ahead.
His teammate. I mean, that guy is stoked. He's super excited, man. He's going to have a huge crowd here, and for him to be a Marine, he's so proud. I mean, he is. That guy's going to do some big things, and I think it's going to be awesome to watch him wrestle. And the glow in his face after weigh-ins. I mean, he just got done weighing in. I mean, those cheeks look like they filled out just a little bit faster this time. So, I think Brassadores is going to do some great stuff this week and tomorrow, and it's going to be amazing. And he is stoked. So, yeah.
So, any last question? Because I think at this point, you got one?
Yeah, this was for Coach Lindland. We're going to see you guys first tomorrow. I know you had some other international teams training with you at camp. I just wanted to get your thoughts on how camp went and where you think the team's at.
Oh, well, we are super excited to lead off tomorrow. We're going to put the pressure on the women, and we're going to put the pressure on the freestyle by putting on a great performance and getting some medals, starting this thing off. I think the camp went incredible. I think Robby, I mean, you can hear it from me, but if you hear it from the athletes, I think that really makes a statement. They feel great. They're looking incredibly fit, and I mean, we had a lot of fun. And bringing in other teams for us is incredibly important because we don't have the depth yet in our program, and so we need to bring in some other training partners. And we were hoping to even have a few more teams. Things didn't work out, but we had some good training partners, and we were glad that they came. And we're grateful, and we're building relationships where we can go train with them, and we need that. So
at this point, I think I might ask the athletes to stay and the coaches to stay up here. You can come up in front and talk to them a little bit. If it gets a little too crowded, we might bring a few people to other places, but certainly we'd like to welcome you to come.